Joining Jack here at the table now is our race winner, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., driver of the number 6 Cargill Sam's Club Ford, who won today's Kansas Lottery 300 here at Kansas Speedway after a very exciting and, according to Mr. Roush, a heart-stopping race here today. Ricky, first of all, congratulations on a great win here today. Your 8th victory in the Nationwide Series, your 6th victory in 2012, now only 6 points behind Elliott Sadler. First of all, again, congratulations. Talk a little bit about that race out there today.
Thank you. It was eventful. We had a lot of things go wrong, and then we had a lot of things go right. I felt like at the beginning of the race, I wasn't as happy with the car as we were in practice. We got out front and Mike made some changes, and I felt like we had one of the fastest race cars here, and then I made a mistake there. We got some debris on the grill. I was trying to get it off of the 18 up on his back bumper, and about that time he had to lift, and I turned and drove right into the side of him. So I thought our day was done, but Mike and the guys did a great job at repairing the right side of the car as best they could and making adjustments so that we could still run fast. And I felt like we had a top 5 car still with all the damage. So the cautions fell our way. Mike kept making great calls when to come down pit road, and we were able to get back on the lead lap, and it put us in position that we were able to get fuel, and we weren't worried about running out. So that played into our favor for sure. And I thought we were going to end up second, and then Kyle ran out there at the end and just played right into our hand.
Also joining us, Crew Chief Mike Kelley. Obviously, strategy, a big part of today's race. Talk a little bit about your view up there atop the pit box.
Well, it changed about as many times today as anything I've ever seen. We talked a lot during the week, and last week I felt like I missed an opportunity to make a strategy call and win us a race on fuel mileage, and that ate at me all week. We talked about this week that we had to make something happen, and me and my engineer, we sat down a lot and looked at what we could do to help ourselves, put ourselves in position, whether it was try and lead the most laps early and just try and take this race. So we had a strategy that we would get off sequence early, put ourselves up the front, and we knew with it being a single groove racetrack early in the run that hopefully that would keep us up there for a long time. And the car was good up front. Then, like you said, we got in the incident, and it looked bleak there for a little while. We were 2 laps down, and generally in these races, if you get 2 laps down, you just can't get can't get those laps back with so many cars being 1 laps down. And it worked out in our favor. We kept looking at different things we could do. It's tough where we were running that the leaders weren't having to pit, so we weren't able to take the wave around, and we kept getting stuck there. But then it all shook out one way and got ourselves back on the lead lap, and we knew we still had a fast car. We just needed track position and a few cautions to fall the right way, and they did. Those guys were basically sitting ducks. They had made their bet earlier on fuel mileage, and it for one time it played out in our favor, and we were able to take advantage of it.
Also joining us up here is a proud father who Mr. Roush called the other end of the bookend that kept Ricky up straight. So talk a little bit about your feelings sitting here witnessing this today.
Well, it's one of the most unbelievable finishes that I've seen, except for the one where they blew the engine. But it's just the way it is done, and we've never give up. We've always been behind, and we've never give up. Jack Roush has never give up on him. He had a rough time, and Jack believed in him. He's won 6 races this year and 2 last year, I believe. That's 8 total, and I think there's a lot more for him.
Mr. Roush, quite an impressive group up here. I understand you have a few more comments you'd like to make to them.
Yeah, it is a great family to be part of here. I feel like I'm part of the Stenhouse family. But they asked me the question, Ricky, before you came in, if what I had done to help manage Ricky in a manner that helped him realize his potential. And I told him I really didn't have anything to do with it. You had him all raised before you gave him to me. But that is a good question that I'd like to have you answer.
Well, we worked hard at it, kept him focused all his life, and he's been a good kid and stayed focused on his goal, and this is where it's took him. And I think if any kid coming up would just stay focused on what he wants, he'll get it.
All right. Well, once again, open it up for questions here in the media center, then we'll go to the press box. We'll start right here with Stan.
Stan Creekmore with RPMtonight.com. Mike Kelley, this is for you. many times we see a driver never give up regardless of where he's at on the racetrack and everything. What kept you at the top of the game going for anything and everything you could today?
You go through life and you have days that are tough and knock you down, and you always hear that story about get back up. Well, there's 4 of us sitting at this table that went through 2010. And it was as tough as anything I've ever been through personally. And we stuck together as a team in 2010 and tore up a lot of stuff and and fought through it and fixed race cars and spent a lot of time, me and Ricky, just talking. And we made it through that, made it through last season. And I knew one race today wasn't gonna stop us. We just had to keep our poise. And I knew that what we've been through this year, you know, we've gave away more races this year than I think we've won. And I'll stand up here and say that in front of anybody. I think we've made more mistakes this year, and this championship would be put away a long time ago had we not made the mistakes. And I think today, when it happened, I think you've seen 18 people buckle down and say, not again. And we're going to fight through this, and we'll get this. And that's what you've seen happen today.
Additional questions down in the media center before we go upstairs? All right, any questions from the press box?
Questions in the press box.
Any other questions down? All right, Randy?
Ricky, just talk about your mindset after you battled with Joey and then you're 2 laps down. Just talk about how you figured you were going to contend for this thing, much less win it.
Yeah, I don't think I probably thought that we were going to contend for it, but I knew we were going to try to salvage as many points as we could. And you know, to be honest with you, I was thinking, you know, top 15, you know, try to get back 1 lap down and just, you know, one thing at a time. And we were able to do that, and then turn around and look up, and they're having to pit for fuel, and you know, we're able to stay out there. So I think at the beginning of it, it was, you know, let's get as many points as we can today and move on. And at that point, we were going to need something to happen, you know, later on in the next 3 races to catch them. But things worked out. They played out. We, you know, drove as hard as we could all day. Still, like I said, I still think we had a top 5 car, even with all the damage. And our guys never give up. I think throughout practice, the last 2 days, I think we changed just about everything on the race car, probably more than anybody else in the garage. And talked to the guys before the race, and they said that, you know, they're up for making as many changes as we need, as long as we go out and get the job done. That's what kind of workers we have on our team, and you know, wouldn't trade them for anything.
All right, Stan, follow up.
This one is for Jack Roush because he's a car owner. Jack, you sit here and you listen to Mike Kelley talk about never quitting. And you've had your experience with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. What does this mean to you as a car owner? Because you're the guy who makes all the decisions whether they stay or not.
I'm just a guy that follows along behind, tries to clean up the mess if I can. You know, I think Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is going to be as good a race car driver as NASCAR has seen, certainly in the modern era, and I'm just proud that he's on my side. But he's been worth the effort. You know, it's much easier to slow a driver down and give him caution and make him a little conservative than it is to speed him up if he doesn't have the drive. And of course, Ricky is driven to a fault. He's absolutely as motivated as anybody I've worked with.
All right, gentlemen, congratulations on your win here today. Good luck in the remaining races and on this championship hunt.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Awesome. Sir.
It's easy when it's a truth.
I'm going to the car.
Take the trophy with you?
We'll let Dad take that. Put it on the trailer.
I'll put it on.
Oh, I gotta go.
See you guys later. You make a tea in there?